Hi, welcome to Build Succeeded. My name is Lucian and today I'm going to build Breakout. Breakout is a successful arcade game released in 1976 by Atari. The goal of the game is to break a few rows of bricks at the top of the screen by using a ball and a small paddle at the bottom of the screen. Since the first release, a lot of versions and clones were created for this game. You can even find clones of it for Android and iPhone. I'm going to start with a game resolution of 800 by 600, and I'm going to use a structure of two floating point numbers to represent a position on the screen. Just like Pong in the previous video, the main item in the game will be the ball. The ball will have a position and a speed, both represented by a 2D structure. The ball will bounce off the top, left and right sides of the screen, but not the bottom side. On the bottom side, we will have a paddle that the user can move horizontally with the mouse. The ball will be able to bounce off this paddle. So far, it's pretty similar to Pong, but in this game, we have a new element, the bricks. The ball will be able to hit the bricks and bounce it back, but it gets a bit more complicated because the brick can be hit from any direction. So we will need to do a bit of actual collision detection here. Almost any game engine has three parts. The first part is capturing and processing user input. In my case, the first thing I need to capture is the mouse X position on the screen. The paddle's Y position will be fixed. The other input I want to capture is the mouse left click, because I want that action to reset the ball after it goes outside the screen. The second part is the logic of the game. Let's handle the easy ones first. The first one is the movement of the ball. We just take the current 2D position and add the 2D speed. Since the speed can also be negative, it should work in any direction. In order to detect when the ball hits the top of the screen, we check the Y part of the ball's position. If Y is lower than the radius of the ball, we make sure the Y part of the speed becomes positive. To check if the ball hits the left or right side of the screen, we check the X part of the ball and compare it with the screen size minus the ball's radius. To move the paddle at the bottom of the screen, we just take the mouse X position and set the paddle's X position to that. We just need to make sure the paddle does not go outside the screen. The next element to focus on is to check if the ball bounces on the paddle. This is similar to the ball hitting the walls, with two main differences. One is that we only bounce it if the ball hits the paddle, so we have to check if the X position of the ball is inside the paddle extremities. The other difference is that I want the player to control the ball's direction after hitting the paddle, and I want to do that by changing the X part of the ball's speed depending on where the ball hits the paddle. When the ball goes outside the screen on the Y-axis, I will just block any logic in the engine until the player clicks the mouse, which will reset the ball. Now for the fun part, the collision between the ball and the brick. To simplify the collision detection a bit, I will consider the ball to be a square behind the scenes instead of a round ball. In order to detect a collision, we need to compare the sides of the ball and the brick. If the ball's top is above the brick's bottom, and at the same time the ball's bottom is below the brick's top, we have an overlap on the y-axis. Keep in mind, the y-axis goes from top 0 to bottom 600 on a graphical screen. If the ball's left side is on the left of the brick's right side, and at the same time the ball's right side is at the right of the brick's left side, we have an overlap on the x-axis. If both conditions are met, we have a collision. Now, to detect on which side the collision occurred, we need to find the smallest of the four segments. In this case, it's this one. So very likely, the ball came from below. So we need to bounce the ball back down and make the brick disappear. The last part of the game engine is drawing on the screen. We need to draw the ball, the paddle, and a set of bricks. Like before, I'm going to implement this using Visual C++ and Direct2D, but you can use OpenGL, Java, even one of the existing game engines. Now let's go build this. Development always goes better with a foamy Irish black stuff. Here it is, a simple breakout game. As you can see, I can move the paddle with my mouse. If the ball goes outside the play area, the game is blocked, and I can reset the ball with a mouse click. As I hit the bricks, they disappear and the ball bounces off them. I didn't add any logic for when you hit all the bricks, so there's no actual winning the game. Feel free to pull the source out of GitHub and add new elements to it as you desire. This is the main engine class. In the constructor, along with the ball and the paddle, we initialize a set of bricks, arranged in 5 rows and 15 columns. The logic method is where all the game logic happens. The elapsed time variable we receive here represents the number of seconds that pass between two frames. This will help the game have a consistent speed, regardless of the speed of your computer. We use this variable to normalize the speed of the ball. As you can see, we call ball advance to move the ball. Then we move the paddle using the received mouse position. We also check if the ball hits the paddle, and we check for collisions with each brick. In the draw method, we call the draw methods of all the game elements, the ball, the paddles, and all the bricks. In the ball class, we have methods to move the ball and bounce it off the top, left, and right walls, to check if the ball hits the paddle and change the speed accordingly, also to check if it's outside the play area. In the paddle class, we use the move to position method to move the paddle to the given position, making sure the paddles don't go outside the screen. This is the brick class, where we implemented the collision detection algorithm. The class has a variable named health, initialized to 1, which is set to 0 in case of a collision. Then we use this variable to decide if we want to draw the ball or not. In the ball collision method, we calculate the 4 brick margins and 4 ball margins that we need to compare the segments. Then, with a simple if, we detect if we are in a collision. If we are, we need to detect which segment is smallest, thus which sides collide, and set the ball speed accordingly. If you want to play around with the code, you will find a link to the GitHub repository in the description of the video. Thank you for watching. If you like it, give me a thumbs up. And if you want to see more games built in the future, make sure to subscribe. See you soon.